Have you ever had neighbors so loud you could feel the bass inside your chest at midnight? Now imagine asking them politely to turn it down, and instead of apologizing, they laugh in your face. Well, one guy had enough, and what he did to their precious speakers. Let's just say, poetic justice has never been this wet. I never thought suburban life could feel like living next to a nightclub. But that all changed the moment my new neighbors moved in. They didn't just bring furniture or moving boxes. They brought chaos and a subwoofer the size of a washing machine. Every single night, like clockwork, their backyard would explode with sound. Not just music, but the kind that makes your skin crawl. Not just loud, but window rattling, soul shaking, foul-mouthed lyrics about drugs, death, and worse. And to make it even better, they turned it into some kind of karaoke from hell session, yelling the words like they were performing in front of a stadium. Imagine trying to sleep while hearing PYDK*LL being screamed in your backyard. Yeah, that was my life. Night after night, until 11 p.m., sometimes even later. And if you're thinking, well, at least the days were quiet, let me crush that dream real quick. Because they're kids, I don't know what they were feeding them, but those weren't normal playful screams. These were the kind of high-pitched, nails-on-a-chalkboard shrieks that make you clench your jaw and hold your breath just to survive the moment. My entire home, my sanctuary, became a battlefield of sound. Now, I'm not the type to jump straight to conflict. In fact, I used to be the guy who just lets things go, let people walk over him, avoid confrontation, keep the peace. So I took the mature route. One evening, after another hour-long backyard concert, I walked over, took a deep breath, and knocked on their gate. I even practiced what I'd say. Hey, I understand you're having fun, but would you mind turning the volume down after 10 p.m.? But when they opened the gate, they didn't speak. They didn't nod. They didn't apologize. They looked at each other, laughed, and started talking in their native language, loud enough for me to hear the sarcasm in their tone. Then one of them slammed the gate shut. I stood there for a second, stunned, and as I walked back to my house, I heard the music get louder. That was the moment something shifted in me. For another week, I endured it. Every night, I hoped maybe, just maybe they'd chill out. They didn't. If anything, it got worse. Every morning, I woke up groggy. Every evening, I dreaded the clock hitting 7, when the first beat would drop. I even caught myself fantasizing about, well, doing something, and then I noticed something. Every night, after their concerts, they would leave their speakers outside, not just near the house, right up against the shared fence. They'd cover them with a flimsy plastic bin, maybe to protect them from morning dew or bugs. But these weren't cheap Bluetooth boxes. We're talking massive outdoor PA speakers, wires, subwoofers, the works. I stared at them one morning, and an idea sparked. Right beside the fence were my garden sprinklers. I'd recently installed a smart irrigation system with adjustable nozzles and timers. And in that moment, I stopped being the passive neighbor. That night, when everything was quiet and the house was dark, I walked out back with a flashlight and a long stick. I gently adjusted 2 of the sprinkler heads, one aimed directly at their speakers, the second set to sweep in a 180-degree arc, just in case anyone came poking around. Then I used a stick to nudge off the plastic bin covering their precious equipment. No damage, nothing forced, just a little gravity doing its thing. And then, like any good suburban saboteur, I went back inside and waited for the magic hour, for AM, when my sprinklers would kick on. The next morning, I walked into my backyard like any other day. From the other side of the fence, I could hear yelling. Not karaoke, not music, just frustration. By the time I peeked over the fence, their speakers were sitting on a towel in the sun, dripping wet. One of them held up a power cord like it had betrayed him. They saw me. I waved, cheerfully. They didn't wave back. Later that afternoon, as I was watering the actual plants, one of them came storming out to the fence line. "Did you do something to our stuff?" I shrugged. "Not sure what you mean." "Our speakers got soaked." Must have rained. I said, It didn't rain. I smiled and replied, Then maybe your karma sprinkler turned on. He started yelling, his words a mess of broken English and anger. But here's the best part. My wife came out, and I started talking to her in French. I'm not French, but her family is, and I've learned enough over the years to sound pretty fluent. So I turned to her and said something like, Mon amour, les voisins sont un peu bruyants, non? My love, the neighbors are a bit noisy, aren't they? She giggled, caught on, and we both started laughing right in front of them. The look on his face? Utter confusion, humiliation, powerlessness. The same feelings they made me live with for weeks. Climactic payoff, the silence that followed. Since that day, not. Hey, Pete, no more karaoke concerts. No more late-night lyrics about murder and mayhem. And those massive outdoor speakers? Gone. Replaced by a dinky little Bluetooth speaker they only use during the day, and even then barely audible. Sometimes justice doesn't need a courtroom. Sometimes it just needs a hose, a little patience, and a perfectly aimed sprinkler. I didn't just ruin their speakers. I reclaimed my peace, my dignity, and a part of myself I didn't know I'd lost.